Nigerians on social media are reacting to a recent World Bank warning that 139 million Nigerians are now living in poverty despite federal government economic reforms boosting revenue. The World Bank's country director, Matthew Verghese, made the disclosure on Wednesday during the launch of the Nigeria Development Update Report in Abuja. While commending the government's bold reforms in exchange rate and fuel subsidy removal, Verghese noted that despite these stabilization gains, many Nigerians are still struggling with eroded purchasing power.
Despite these stabilization gains, many Nigerians are still struggling. Most households are struggling with eroded purchasing power. Poverty, which started to rise in 2019 due to policy missteps and external shocks, including COVID, has continued to increase even after the reforms. In 2025, we estimate that 139 million Nigerians live in poverty. So the challenge is clear: how to translate the gains from the stabilization reforms into better living standards for all Nigerians.
Well, that was the World Bank's country director there. Although he acknowledged that Nigeria's economic growth has picked up, with revenues rising, debt indicators improving, foreign exchange markets stabilizing, reserves rising, and inflation gaining to ease, he warned that persistent high food prices could slow recovery and damage confidence in reforms as food inflation affects everybody, particularly the poor. And of course, this news has garnered a lot of reactions, and I'll take some posts on X. This is from DA, who wrote, "Reforms mean nothing when people can't eat. You can't fix the economy on paper while citizens starve. In reality, growth without welfare is just numbers masking suffering." Another ex-user, £20, wrote, "Listening and living by World Bank's recommendations is highly risky. They were among those on Nigeria's neck to remove subsidy and float the naira, knowing fully well that the effect will be devastating." Now, they are the same people shouting that Nigeria is sinking. I don't know what that word is, but we'll take another ex-user spot, AIS, who wrote, "Tomorrow, you'll issue another alarm that Nigeria economy has grown to 2,000% under Tinubu. The next 2 months, you will hail that reforms are working and producing results, and APC will use it as a campaign promise. Then you'll still turn back tomorrow and tell us that 200 million people are now in abject poverty. Una own Yahoo too much." And that's what he says. That and these are the sort of stories that we hear, Rufai. At the end of the day, this is what we hear. But you know what? The presidency has disputed the World Bank report of 139 million Nigerians living in poverty, dismissing the figure as unrealistic and detached from the country's economic realities. In a post on X, the president's special advisor on media and public communication, Sunday Dare, stated that the poverty figures must be properly contextualized within the limits of global measurements models. Rufai, I'm coming to you on this story. We have seen this report, and the World Bank is saying no matter your reforms, it is not showing 139 million Nigerians at this point. That statistic is quite alarming. Your thoughts? And I'll walk to you. I'll come to you.
You see, a couple of things.
Yeah.
Government like to deflect when you call them out. Mr. Sunday Dare did not give us his own data, but he was trying to dismiss a World Bank data that in the same breath, they praised the World Bank data when the World Bank data said, oh, the growth projection has increased. So it just shows they don't like to hear the truth. And we keep telling them that reforms, why when it comes to reforms, be careful. Exactly what is happening in Argentina. I remember when they were celebrating Milei in Argentina and saying things are well. But at the same time, there were protests and strikes because the life of people were a whole lot worse off in Argentina. There was austerity and the likes. Exactly what is happening in Nigeria today. The same people that are making the argument today, when I tell them that the naira, this is not the true value of naira, that the naira is still undervalued. The same people were those complaining and saying that, oh, when we devalue, we'll be able to find the value of the naira. But it went over 1,005, it went over about 1,009, now it's back to about 1,004 before. At some point, let's not forget that when they defended the naira to about 1,002 briefly, before it jacked up again to about 1,005.
Right.
Now the next thing, they are changing their words and saying that it's stability that matter, not the true value. But before, these were the same people, when the naira was 400, that they say, oh, the naira needs to find the true value that is overvalued. Today, when we are still saying that it's still not the real value, the next thing they are saying stability at the expense of the lives of people. Mr. Sunday Dare forgets that it is basic economics. If you devalue a currency, you devalue the lives of people, you will increase the level of poverty. People that used to live on less than $2 per day, $2 per day at the rate of 400 was about 800 naira. Today, $2 per day at the rate of 1,000, maybe 470 is over 2,000 naira, going to 3,000 naira. So you have devalued the lives of people. You have not increased productivity. You have not increased economic fidelity. What you have done is you have stressed people even more, and you have collected more revenue. You are draining out revenue for an economy that has productivity challenges at the same time, and you think you're doing good. So when the World Bank tells you that you have a lot of people that have no disposable income, you think it's a joke. No, a lot of people don't actually have disposable income in this country. They only eat once a day. They can't eat 3 times a day any longer. And these are the things the government should work on. Not people like Mr. Sunday Dare coming back and saying, no, you don't know what you're saying, World Bank, but you can't give us your data. I dare the government, give us your own data if you say World Bank is not correct.